Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. All right, here we go. Halftime is over with, and we are on to the third hour. Third hour already on this Monday morning. Don't forget to hit me up with your VFW Post 305 best and worst of the weekend. Best and worst of the weekend. Hit us up. All right, hit me up, 715-830-1912. I'll probably throw a couple in for best and worst. Best, I got a couple for best and one worst. Best, Brewers sweeping, and then highlighted by that Contreras walk-off home run. That was sweet. I'm going to go with the Express, too. The Eau Claire Express. Good weekend for them, winning 2 against Rochester. And now in first place, second half first place, by 1.5. They got... They got Waterloo now for 4 games. It'll be a long road stretch here for the Express. So they're going to be at Waterloo for the next 3 days. Doubleheader today, off day Thursday, and then Wausau, and then Thunder Bay. They'll be back at Carson Park next Tuesday for 4 days in a row. Man, the regular season's starting to wrap up here too. So after this long stretch of road games, and when they return to Carson Park next Tuesday, they'll just have, it looks like, 2 more road games, and then it's all Carson Park. So hopefully it means they can take that, use that to their advantage, and get this second half championship in advance to the postseason. But the Express are playing some really, really good baseball right now. So that's best. Best. Hudson played on a ball team this weekend, one-day tournament, Stratford. They came away with the championship, so I got to throw that one in there too. Worst, I'm going to go with Brandon Woodruff. Brandon Woodruff addressed his injury on Saturday, the day of his bobblehead day. He is going to undergo surgery again for that same shoulder, that capsule injury. And he said he's not having a funeral. He said, the announcement seemed, quote, the announcement seemed like I was having a funeral or like I was going to announce retirement or something, and that's not it at all. I've just got to have surgery. It's unfortunate for me personally. I've got to go ahead and attack this rehab with a goal in mind of pitching again. He said, the good news is I know exactly what this rehab entails. I don't. It's such an unknown. He has the goal that he wants to pitch again, and I don't doubt that 100%. I mean, he's an athlete. He's a pro athlete. He's a competitor. That is always the goal. You always want to, and especially you don't want to, and I don't think any athlete wants to end their career because of an injury. I don't think anybody wants to go out that way. And Woodruff, who's only 33 right now, probably feels like he's got a few more years left. And why wouldn't he think that? I mean, some people probably rolling their eyes like, well, it's because he's been injured a lot. He's probably looking at it just from his age standpoint. Like, hey, I got some left in the tank here. Let's go. On the other hand, I don't think we'll see him pitch again for the Brewers. I just don't. And I don't see the Brewers doing what they did last time, giving him a 2-year contract, signing him up for 2 years, and letting him rehab throughout the whole year, that first year, and then with the idea of coming back in the second year of that contract. And he came back later dealing with some other injuries. And I know the talk is potentially coming back in 2027, maybe in the back end of 2027. I don't know. I got doubts. I hope, though, he silences me. I hope he silences the rest of us who doubt him. I hope he goes out there and he's able to come back and he's able to pitch at a high level. whether it's for the Brewers or for another team. You root for that guy. You root for him, unless he's going up against the Brewers and dominating, right? Pat Murphy, though, said, quote, if you watch my reaction out there, I kind of knew it was bad. Then it settled into my mind that, in my experience coming here in 2016, this is a Brewers icon. His presence, everything about him when he steps on that hill. You think about his last 7 to 8 starts, rocking 89 to 92 miles per hour with the exact same demeanor, and the hitters reacted like it was 98. Losing him is hard to stomach for our team, not just from a competitive standpoint, but the person. He said that I'm not happy about needing surgery, but, it's a beautiful thing where this all came at a time for me when my third child just came. We had an all-star break and had time to really sit down and think about this. But, yeah, I'm not having a funeral or anything. So I guess we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what the future holds for Brandon Woodruff. And I know a lot of people are saying he'd make a great coach, keep him in the organization to be a coach. But I think that's obviously not in the discussions at this point. Wants to see if he can make his return, make his recovery, get back at it. And he might go with the route that we see a lot of veterans do, kind of towards the, when they make a comeback or they've been out for a while, they do those tryouts. They invite a bunch of scouts or front office peeps. He throws for them. And if teams like it, they'll submit, contract offers, negotiations. Wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of the route for Brandon Woodruff whenever he gets to that point. It might be late next year, might not be until 2028. Who the heck knows at this point? But yeah, he goes in it with a little bit more experience, knowing what's in front of him. But next time we chat with Dr. Crow, you can bet your bottom dollar that this is going to be a main topic of conversation. So, Brewers, though, tonight, kind of an informal poll question. Would you like to see Freddy Peralta back with the Brewers? Wide majority of you saying yes. Wide majority of you saying yes. Probably like 95% of you. So this comes on the heels of a report from over the weekend that the Brewers potentially had a top choice or a top target, or Freddy Peralta is a top target for the Brewers. This comes from, Hector Gomez. Said that the Brewers have emerged as the top suitor for Freddy Peralta. Braves and Rays have also shown a lot of interest in him as well. Now, this could come, maybe this is gamesmanship. Maybe this is just, we've seen this, we've heard about this before time and time again. You throw a team out there, you mention a team is interested in this person and trading for this person to maybe draw the price up. So maybe it's somebody from the Mets, or maybe this is something that is thrown out there from the Mets saying, hey, Brewers are interested in this guy. Or we're going to say the Brewers are interested in this guy. Can you throw that out there and maybe draw the price up a little bit? Because let's face it, Freddy Peralta is not going to get the same in return what the Mets gave up for him in Brandon Sproat, Jet Williams. Mets are not going to get anything close to that in return. So that's not happening. But if they throw out a team that's potentially interested in him, a contending team, even though if they're not, it may draw the price up just a little bit more. You try to look for these different advantages. You try to look for these different ways to boost up the price. Because Peralta's stock is pretty low right now. And you throw in a team like the Brewers as possibly interested in Freddy Peralta, like going back to the Brewers. I mean, it's the perfect way to try to draw up the price tag on Freddy Peralta. It's the perfect scenario. Oh, man, the team that he had so much success with, we know he's having a down year this year, but you know it. If he goes there, he's probably going to turn this thing around. And if you are the Braves and the Rays and you want some starters, you're like, oh, crap. Okay, let's maybe offer another prospect or something. I don't know. Little gamesmanship. Maybe that's the case. Or maybe the Brewers are legit interested. Would it surprise you if the Brewers were legit interested? I don't think so. You're going to get him cheaper. You're going to get him cheaper in terms of what you would have to give up. You're not going to have to trade nowhere near. Like, they're not just going to say, okay, we'll give you back Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams for Freddy Peralta. No. That ain't happening. You're not going to have to give up as much as the Mets did for Freddie. Unless there's a stupid team out there that's willing to do that. Brewers are not going to do that. Contract-wise, I mean, you might be paying him less than $4 million left on his deal. It's prorated for his final year, which was just $8 million this year. You prorate that. So you're talking a couple $1 million? Bring in Freddie. He gives you 4 or 5 innings. I'd be curious to see him back with Chris Hook, with the pitching coaching, or with the coaching staff of the pitching group, but also back with Contreras. I think that's such an underrated part for a lot of these pitchers is the catcher they work with. And you go back to a few weeks ago, where it was Freddie started to call his pitches for the first time, his own pitches for the first time in his career. I think if he gets to throw with Contreras again behind the dish, he's going to have the confidence in there. He's going to have the confidence. He's going to be maybe a little bit more relaxed. Pressure's going to be off his shoulders a bit. He's going to come in and maybe be a back-end starter. He's not going to come in saying, I got to be the number one guy. That's Miz. Harrison's going to be number 2 when he's healthy and back. So if it costs maybe a double-A prospect or a back-end triple-A prospect, I'd be open to it. I think it's good insurance. You're familiar with him. It would the locker room, the clubhouse. Oh gosh, they would welcome him back. And I think that clubhouse would be ecstatic. They would be so pumped. And that might just reinvigorate Freddy Peralta too. Why not try to cash in on that? Get a little extra boost with that. Why not? Playoff experience too? Heck yeah. I'm all for it. All right, let's talk some more Brewers. We got to take a quick break, though. We'll be back after these few words. Believe it or not, hunting season preparation starts right now, and there is no better place to gear up than Tilden Gun in Chippewa Falls. Whether you are looking to upgrade your deer rifle, maybe pick up a new turkey shotgun, or add a dependable shotgun for traps, sporting clays, or target shooting, Tilden Gun has a wide selection of firearms from the brands that you know and trust. Their knowledgeable staff can help you find the perfect fit for your hunting style, experience level, and budget. Plus, you will find ammunition, accessories, optics, and more to help you get the most out of every trip to the range or to the field. Don't wait until the season is right around the corner. Get prepared now and shoot with confidence later. Stop by Tilden Gun in Chippewa Falls and see why sportsmen and shooting enthusiasts throughout the Chippewa Valley trust Tilden Gun for all of their firearm needs. You can check them out online at tildengun.com. They're easy to use website, or stop by their sweet shop located 12427 90th Avenue in Chippewa Falls. All right, let's talk some more Brewers as we get set for tonight's matchup. Game 1 between the Brewers and the Mets. Jacob Misiorowski versus Freddy Peralta tonight. Misiorowski first start since being, was it supposed to start the Sunday before the All-Star break. Got scratched due to some arm fatigue. So Brewers electing to keep him fresh. So we haven't seen him since July 7th in a start against the Cardinals where he went 7 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, a couple of homers. Did strike out 11. Before that, got charged with the loss, going 5 innings, giving up just 1 earned run, was that controversial error call. 10 Ks there too. So I'll be curious to see how Miz looks. All right, they shut him down here for nearly... at least a couple weeks here. 13 days? Yeah. So a couple weeks. Does he look refreshed? Revived? Does he look, or does there still maybe some glimpses of a little fatigue or not? I don't know if we'll be able to tell that from tonight's game, but, Mizorowski, we talk about key Brewers players in this quote-unquote second half of this season. I mean, Mizorowski is at the top if he isn't already. If he's not number one, he's right there at the top. This Brewers team will go as far as Jacob Mizorowski takes him every 5-6 days, whenever his spot in that rotation is at. So the Brewers, definitely one of the biggest things they've got to keep in mind as they wrap up this regular season, 63 more games to go. How do we keep Jacob Mizorowski fresh so he's not fatigued when we get to playoff games? Yet they're not in that position where maybe they can get a little too relaxed, right? They have a lead against the Cubs in the division, but it's not like it's a huge commanding lead where they can maybe we're just going to, every couple turns through the rotation, maybe throw Miz out there. I mean, it's only a 6-game lead over the Cubs. That can go away like that, right? It's not like the Dodgers have a double-digit lead in their division. So, but it's definitely going to be something to kind of watch how the Brewers manage Mizorowski's workload, manage his innings. When you look at Mizorowski so far this season, and you look at his games. I mean, he's gone 7 innings, 6 innings, 9 innings. I mean, let's just go run through it. 7 innings, 5 innings, 6, 6, 9, 7, 7, 7, 6, 7, 6, 5 and a third, 6, 5, 5 and a third, 5 and a third, 6, 5. That's going all the way back. So went from most recent to the beginning of the season. Do they kind of do they do pitch count with Mizorowski? Do you try to throw that in there to try to keep him as fresh as possible for hopefully a long postseason run? That you're not concerned about fatigue, that you're not concerned about overusage when you get to these playoff games in October. Do they go pitch count? Or maybe an innings restriction. Like, okay, we're not going to throw you past 6. Or we're not going to throw you past 80 pitch. I'm just throwing out random numbers. That's what I'm kind of curious to see, how they manage Jacob Mizorowski in these final 63 games. So if he goes every 5-6 days on this rotation, it's, maybe 10 more starts for Mizorowski, right? 63, maybe 10. That's going to be key. A big key to the overall success and getting into that postseason, playing really well for the Brewers. But going back to this weekend, a fantastic weekend for the Brewers. I mean, you go back to Friday, Brandon and I, when we made our picks, we both picked the Marlins because it just set up for pitching. But shout out to Brandon. He also made the point. We kind of said the same thing for the Brewers when it was going up against the Cubs, but then the Cubs go out there and win that series. Brewers, though, taking the sweep against arguably the 3 best starters for the Marlins, a Marlins team that's competing for a playoff spot. They're not a bad team. They're not like the Marlins that maybe we've come accustomed to over the years. It's a good Marlins team. It's a solid Marlins team. And the fact that the Brewers were able to get the brooms out, and I think a lot of it starts with what they got from their pitchers. You go back to Friday night, Logan Henderson. Saturday with Shane Drone, excuse me. And then yesterday with Robert Gasser. Gasser with a great bounce back performance. Last time we saw him, it was not good against Pittsburgh. And he bounced back nicely. 5 innings, 3 hits. The solo shot, 5 Ks, no walks. We need more of that version of Robert Gasser going forward. So to see those starting pitchers and even, most of the bullpen too. Shane Drone going 6 innings. That 1 inning, the second inning, giving up those 3 earned runs. Bounces back. Ends up finishing with 9 Ks, 9 strikeouts. Craig Yoho slipped up a little bit on Saturday after picking up his first career win going back to Friday night. But Trevor McGill comes in and shuts it down. We mentioned Logan Henderson, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. You look at these starters that we saw from the Brewers this past weekend. So Henderson doesn't issue a single walk, no freebies. Then you go to Saturday's game. Shane Drowan, 6 innings, 1 freebie, 1 walk. Robert Gasser, no walks. No freebies. The command, the control from those starters, awesome. And then you had the Brewers, 7 stolen bases on Saturday's game? Being aggressive on the base paths? That was Brewers baseball in a nutshell, wasn't it? I think, as a team, they had 7 walks, too. Joey Ortiz took a couple walks. Yelich at the top. Chirio at the top, or batting in the second spot, took a couple of walks, too. Getting guys on. Moving them across. Garrett Mitchell, though, man. I know we've talked a lot about him recently, but this man just continues to produce. And you can't take him out of the lineup. Now, it's going to be easier where you can have your outfield with Chirio, Mitchell, and Lara in right now because Sal Frelick, unfortunately, is on the injured list, dealing with a shoulder injury. Popped up Friday's game on a throw, something that he's been dealing with. But, again, my guy, Sal, I don't like seeing that. And hopefully it's nothing too serious. Hopefully when he bounces back that he can bounce back and play at a high level. But, man, Garrett Mitchell, for a guy that we had question marks heading into this season, we put a lot of expectations on that guy last year to come in and fill in the offensive hole that was going to be left by Willy Adames. Well, and injuries derailed that. A little bit of a slower start for Garrett Mitchell this year. Dude has been humming as of late. I mean, you look at his last 95 at-bats. 337. He's slugging .558. I know he went hitless yesterday, but 3 hits on Saturday. Couple more on Sunday. Defensive plays, too. I mean, the walk-offs. Dude is playing some really good baseball. And, yeah, in those games, too, a couple strikeouts. That's what you're going to get with Garrett Mitchell. You're going to get the good, which is right now what we're seeing from an offensive side of things, but you're going to get some strikeouts with him, too. But overall, this season, he's hitting .280 with an OPS of an .827. If you were told at the beginning of the year, Garrett Mitchell, towards the end of July, is hitting .280 with an .827 OPS, would you take that? Yes. And twice on Sundays. And he's played, the most games that he has played in his career, 89 games up to this point. Yeah, you take that. 100% you take that. This is a guy that came in with a lot of fanfare, a lot of, not just from Brewers fans of the Brewers, but remember a couple years ago when, MLB did those top 10 shredder countdowns of the top players at these positions. Garrett Mitchell came in as a top 10 center fielder before he really, that was going into the top 25 season. It was like, oh, okay, he's coming off of 69 games in 2024. Yeah, he had 8 home runs, and there was some optimism. He hit .255, and already a top 10 center fielder. Now he's playing at an incredibly high level. Can't take him on that lineup. And it's been a nice boost for this offense, too. When you have a little bit of the struggles with Yelly, and I know Chirio went into that All-Star break not hitting the greatest either. So good to see Garrett Mitchell continuing to play at a high level because he was playing really well heading into that All-Star break, too. All right, we got to take a quick break. Back with plenty more, though, coming up after these few words. Summer cookout season is in full swing, baby. And nobody does summer grilling better than Mike's Star Market. From premium steaks and fresh burgers to brats and chicken, you will find quality and value throughout the store. So before your next summer cookout, or maybe just for dinner, stop by Mike's Star Market today and stock up on the freshest ingredients around. You can visit them at 2238 Hempstead Road and make sure you follow their Facebook page too. Mike's Star Market may help you make every summer gathering a memorable one and a delicious one. So Monday is also our Chat GPT. Monday morning Chat GPT. Like our Monday morning quarterback, but we ask artificial intelligence, AI. So I just threw out there, hey, if you are the Brewers, do you trade for Freddy Peralta? And it said, my opinion, yes, but only if the Mets asking price is reasonable. Brewers are 62-37. Already have one of baseball's best pitching staffs, but the rotation has taken some hits, including Brandon Woodruff being done. They also added Lance McCullers Jr., so I wouldn't view Peralta as a necessity. But why I like this idea. He knows Milwaukee and the organization. His ceiling is very high. He had a 2.70 ERA with 204 strikeouts at 25, though his 26th season with the Mets has been a step down. He gives the Brewers another legitimate playoff starter. The Mets could be motivated to move him. The biggest question, though, is price. Milwaukee already traded Peralta to New York in January for Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat. I would not give up another premium prospect package to bring him back 6 months later. If the Mets want a top prospect, I'd pass. My ideal deal would be something like a good but not elite prospect package with the Mets eating some salary. If that price exists, I say bring Freddy home. If the Mets want to recoup the full value of the pitcher they thought they were acquiring in January, I'd look elsewhere. Bottom line, I'd do it at the right price, but I wouldn't overpay for nostalgia, which I think a lot of, from all of you that have chimed in, not everybody, but I'd say about 95% of you who chimed in would agree with that because, yeah, you're Freddy. So I followed up by saying, okay, what would be the prospect? Who's the prospect on the Brewers that you'd be comfortable in giving up for Freddy Peralta? And our Monday morning Chat GPT said, if we're talking about a realistic buy low offer, my first call would be Brock Wilken. Brewers just traded for Peralta in January, giving up Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat, both top 100 type prospects at the time, so I don't think Milwaukee can reasonably expect to get Freddy back for a fringe prospect. My offer, Brock Wilken plus a lower level prospect. If the Mets demand something like Brock Wilken plus another legitimate top 10 Brewers prospect, I would walk away. Peralta is good enough to help Milwaukee, but he's also a free agent after this season, and the Mets would be trying to recover value from a trade that hasn't worked out as hope. My dream scenario, Brock Wilken straight up for Freddy Peralta. The Mets might say no, but that's the offer I would start with. All right then. Brock Wilken. Is there, all you diehard Brewers fans out there, is there a name, a prospect? Let's just have fun with this. Play general manager this morning, okay? Play a little fantasy baseball. What would you offer if you are in favor of Peralta coming back to Milwaukee, which there's some reports out there suggesting? What would you offer? Make it realistic, too. And what would be your max? Because I would imagine it's got to be prospects, so let's look at some of the Brewers' prospects. Just have a little fun with this exercise here. Okay? It's not Jesus. It's not Luis Pena. It's not Cooper Pratt. It's not Luis Lara. It's not going to be Jet Williams. I don't think that'll be Jet Williams. It's not going to be Andrew Fisher. It's not going to be Jefferson Kiro. And the thing is, too, I think you got to factor this in. David Stearns knows a lot of these guys. He probably was involved with acquiring or getting a lot of these guys, right? So Brock Wilken right now is 19th on their list, prospect list. Or do you go Coleman Crow? Anybody? Tyler, I don't know if Tyler Black would be an option. Would they be interested in a little Tyler Black? Give me a name that you'd be, and you got to know the person. Just don't Google the list and say, "Oh, I don't know who this guy is." So just throw him on there. Would you maybe make it simpler too? Would you include a top 30 prospect? You probably have to include a top 30 prospect, but not a top 10 prospect. And given where the Brewers, some of their guys, I probably wouldn't even have top 15 prospects. Yeah, I'd be looking at, okay, if Brock Wilkins the guy, you kind of start there. Maybe 19th, 20th range for a short-term rental. I'd be curious to see, okay, after this season, what's Freddy going to get? Especially with the uncertainty surrounding Major League Baseball's, upcoming CBA, potential work stoppage, and all that fun stuff that we have to look forward to in the offseason for baseball. I think Freddie's losing a lot of money right now. He's losing a ton of money with the production that he's been putting out there this year. It stinks for him, right? It stinks for him. But this looks like another win by Matt Arnold with that trade. Another win. Tip of the cap. All right, we got to take our final break for this hour as we start to wrap up the third hour and get the fourth hour going here. We got Justice Cleveland's going to be joining us, by the way, in the fourth hour. We'll do some local sports roundup brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center with him. I'm glad Justice is coming in here too, because he had the open, but had some drama with DeChambeau and the whole weeds and ball movement, all that stuff. I'm sure you're all very familiar with it. So definitely want to hit that up with Justice. But World Cup too. If you spent all World Cup watching these, what were your general thoughts? Did you like it? Did you think it was a good tournament? Game yesterday goes into extra minutes. Spain picks up the W. So, what were your thoughts on the World Cup? You can share it with the rest of the class here too. All right, let's take our final break, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes to wrap up the third hour. We'll be back in just a skosh. Let's take a look at what the weekly deals are in store for this week for Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. We're talking about $8.99 Hy-Vee Choice Reserve Beef New York Strip. Ooh, yeah, right? Hey, for you peanut butter lovers in your life, $1.98 for Skippy creamy peanut butter. Always a big thing in our house, except for me. Can't have it. Allergies, man. How about potato chips? You got Funyuns. You've got the Ruffles all on sale this week going on at Hy-Vee here too. So, hey, if you're in the mood for a little Italian, you've got all the Hy-Vee pasta sauces on sale for spaghetti and such, $1.58. So quick meal, easy meal that way too. So, again, you can always check out Hy-Vee's Facebook page for the latest and greatest sales and deals going on, like today, because you want to keep tabs of like their one-day sales, which today, one day only, for every $40 you spend, you can earn 20 cents off per gallon at the pump. Just today at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. That's why you need to be following their Facebook page so you don't miss out on it. And keep this on the docket for coming up this Saturday, July 25th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., Party in the parking lots. Summer excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Celebrate the season with festive vibes and kid-friendly activities. So that's, again, coming up this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Hy-Vee parking lot for their kids' club Party in the parking lot. All right, we only got a few minutes left until the top of the hour. So we'll get back to some more baseball talk as we get set for this series with the Mets coming up. By the way, happy anniversary. 5 years ago today. Is it just me, or does it feel like this has been longer than 5 5 years. But 5 years ago today, Bucks captured their championship. Man, only 5. Seems like it 10 years ago at this point in time. I don't know why it seems like it's been longer than 5 years ago, but man, it sure seems like it. And yeah, July. Because the whole COVID thing, the season got pushed back. But yeah, I still remember watching that game. Giannis dropping 50. Had a little victory scotch that night after the game. I know some of you were in the district, the Deer District. Remember you guys talking about that afterwards, but man, 5 years ago today, when the Bucks captured their championship with Giannis and Middleton and Mike Budenholzer and Drew Holiday and PJ Tucker and Brooke Lopez, Pat Connaughton, all those names no longer with the Bucks. How things quickly change. They change so quick in the NBA. Or they just change that quick too in the sports world. But man, 5 years ago. Dang. So all right. We'll talk some more. Well, we'll get back to more baseball talk coming up in the next hour. But I saw that post out there. I was like, dang, it's already 5 years ago. Brewers getting set for their series against the Mets. You can continue to send us your thoughts. Would you trade for Peralta? Looking on the Shoe Doctor's bullpen line. Yeah, again, like I said, a wide majority. It's not even close. Like, if this was an election, we'd already be calling it. All right? We'd already be throwing that out there. But it's not even close. But if you got a different take or you want to add more to the yeses and the reasons why, hey, please feel free to send them on over, okay? But would you, if you're the Brewers, seriously consider adding Freddy Peralta back on the team? According to some reports out there, it's a possibility. Maybe it's just straight up Mets are trying to bump up the price on Freddy Peralta by throwing a team like the Brewers into it. I mean, that would make sense, right? Hey, we're going to say the Brewers are interested. So all you other teams who are lowballing us, Brewers are interested. He's really good with the Brewers. So if you don't want that to happen, you don't want to miss out on him, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. It makes complete sense if that is the direction they're going. Not saying it's not true that the Brewers aren't interested, but I also wouldn't be surprised if this is a major thing that's kind of pushing this narrative out there. I mean, it makes complete sense. The Brewers are a good team to throw in there as a rumored candidate for Freddy Peralta. Hey, he'd go back to a franchise that he's comfortable with, that he already knows. He's probably going to put up better numbers. I mean, that's the narrative they'd probably throw out there. We don't know. So maybe that would make teams like the Braves or the Rays or Dodgers or Cubs a little bit more antsy to pull the trigger in to try to get that trade done. Guess we'll see in the next couple of weeks here. Just a couple weeks away, baby. So, all right, shot clock's going to cut us off. So, we got some news updates, and then we'll kick off the final hour on this Monday morning. Getting back to some baseball talk. We got some local sports roundup. Lots of baseball from our local sports roundup perspective, whether it's CRBL or Legion or the hot Eau Claire Express. Justice will help us break it all down.